Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. We may circle back around to Lainey and inquire if something happened, because that's the only other girl that he was actually interacting with. There's no reason to assume his presumably dead stalker was at the party. Luna is with her grandmas, waiting to see what happens. Bold and the Beautiful. Will Spencer and Deacon Sharp, confessions and clues. I simply wonder if Will is going to come back over to Giardino, asking questions and telling Deacon in confidence that he hooked up with somebody in a mask, but can't recall it. I suppose Sheila may figure it out fairly fast, because she's the queen of conspiracies. This is something like she would have done when in her peak. Honestly, pre-Deacon, this is definitely something she would have done. Bill Spencer is going to attempt and help Liam figure out what's next. I do wonder if Liam is thinking about a future with Hope, but having her involved with Carter, I do think Liam is going to appreciate that bond. Carter Walton and Hope Logan. Wedding plans and drama at Forrester Creations. This week in the Forrester Creations office, Carter is telling Ridge Forrester he wants to marry Hope. Then Carter is proposing something to Hope. He has some kind of notion. Ridge interrupts, and Carter may be attempting to encourage her to elope or just schedule an ASAP wedding. I wonder whether Hope may hit the brakes due of her feelings for Liam. Luna Nozawa unredeemable as Thomas Forrester returns. Lee is going to understand quite soon a harsh truth. Luna cannot be redeemed. That's the bottom line. Of course, look for minor decreases here and there. Some red flags, because we're getting closer to Thomas Forrester's return. Jacqueline McInnes with exciting news. Another baby for the B&B family. The Steffi Forrester actress, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, did have her kid. It is boy number 5. That is so many kids, regardless. So many boys. She is such a terrific boy mama, though. She is due to be returning to filming, I believe, in October at the new location. Taylor's unexpected ally leans on Bill to get past Ridge heartbreak. The bold and the beautiful spoilers indicate that Taylor Hayes may have an unexpected ally in the coming weeks. The soapy drama is laying the stage for Ridge Forrester to break his engagement with Taylor to reconcile with Brooke Logan. When Ridge eventually comes clean with Taylor, it will crush her heart. He informed her that Brooke was his history and he would never let her control him again. But here they are, the millionth split, when Brooke pushes the destiny line to Ridge. The terrible part is that Ridge buys that line every single time. Taylor's heartbreak. The bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest that Taylor will come unglued when Ridge finally utters those words. I want to end our engagement for Brooke. We all know it's coming soon. Nearly everyone, even folks who don't particularly like Taylor's character, feels awful for Taylor. This one is going to sting. Not only will it upset Taylor, but Steffi Forrester and Thomas Forrester will be heartbroken as well. Steffi and Thomas will be furious with their dad. He swore to leave Brooke in his past. He pledged he'd never reunite with her again. It hasn't been that long, and he's already going back to her. Thomas will undoubtedly try his hardest to split them up. He will target Brooke in whatever method he can to persuade his dad to perceive her in an unfavorable light. He won't stop until he is either exposed for planning against her or his dad stops his relationship with Brooke. Steffi, on the other hand, will handle the matter differently. She will likely face his dad and Brooke, possibly simultaneously and separately, handing them the riot act. She might even plot to have Brooke fired from Forrester Creations. Taylor's unimplected ally. The bold and the beautiful spoilers hint that Taylor could have an unexpected ally in the coming weeks. This one will make the B&B aficionados very happy. After years of yearning for it, CBS could put Taylor and Bill together. Bill will visit Taylor to provide her support. He feels bad that the dressmaker destroyed her heart again. He may even convince Taylor she deserves better, enabling Taylor to see him in a different light. The bold and the beautiful spoilers predict that Taylor's love life will encounter rocky times in the coming weeks. Stay tuned to see how it all plays out. Sheila Carter's world spun out of control as the week of August 25th through 29th on the Bold and the Beautiful erupted into a cascade of fallout, scheming, and heartbreak. With every corner of Los Angeles buzzing from the shockwaves of Luna Nozoa's vile plot at Will Spencer's party, Carter Walton's impulsive marriage gambit, and the unraveling tethers of love, loyalty, and deception, Sheila's freakout began not in a single moment, but as a slow boil that had been building ever since Luna's mask-clad sabotage turned a night of innocent celebration into a quagmire of ruined trust, missing memories, and whispered suspicions. With Electra Forrester torn between truth and humiliation as she replayed in her mind how close she'd come to sealing a magical first time with Will Spencer, only to watch it all crumble when he was too drunk to stand, let alone love. While somewhere in the shadowed corners of Giardino, Luna, a chip off Sheila's old block, as many now muttered, slithered in with her mask, her forbidden 180-proof concoction, and a plan that even Sheila, in her darkest days, might have hesitated to enact. For this was no harmless prank. It was a calculated trap to bind Will to her in the most twisted, non-consensual way imaginable, leaving the young Spencer heir waking the next morning with his shirt half open, his mind in fragments, and his heart somewhere between dread and denial as flashes of masked kisses and uninvited hands haunted him. Meanwhile, Deacon Sharp nursed his own guilt for not cutting Will off sooner, counting drinks that were really triple-strength thanks to Luna's switcheroo, and muttering to Sheila that it was only 2, maybe 3, not knowing the truth until the pieces. Luna's sudden vanishing act, her strange mask obsession, her too-sweet tone when questioned, began aligning with the leaked photo showing her lips on Will's stomach, a photo that would later ripple through the Forrester and Spencer families like a live wire. Sheila, once the queen of scheming, now felt the unfamiliar sting of horror, realizing that her protégé, her so-called second chance at motherhood, had gone rogue in a way that could destroy not only Will's life, but her own fragile marriage to Deacon. For how could she preach redemption while harboring a predator under her roof? Her freakout intensified when Lee Finnegan stormed in, eyes blazing, hissing that Luna had gone too far and that their desperate cover-up might collapse if the truth about the mask, the booze, and the room at Giardino surfaced. The two grandmothers, once uneasy allies in controlling the volatile Luna, now found themselves in a Cold War, Sheila arguing to salvage the girl, Lee muttering about institutionalization, each blaming the other for letting her slip out that night. At the same time, in a far more glittering but no less fraught corner of Los Angeles, Carter Walton laid out his game-changing move to Ridge Forrester. He wanted to marry Hope Logan now, not later, not after another 6 months of Liam Spencer lingering in her guest room, recuperating from his brain tumor. Scare that turned out to be a cruel deception courtesy of Grace Buckingham's $1 million scam. Carter had held his tongue, given Hope space, even watched her all but move into the Spencer mansion to tend to Liam's recovery, and now, with Liam walking, talking, and perhaps scheming again, Carter's patience thinned. He wanted a commitment, a wedding, maybe even a quick elopement, before the tides of destiny pulled Hope back to the man she once vowed forever to. But Hope, her fingers still entwined with Liam's as they reminisced about the past while sipping coffee in Bill's mansion, faltered. She told Liam there was nowhere else she'd rather be, not even mentioning Carter by name. And when Carter proposed his idea, whispered urgent, interrupted by Ridge barging in with a stack of designs and a knowing smirk. Her heart stalled, her voice caught, and she asked for time, just as Liam looked at her from across the room with that old familiar softness that had once unraveled her entire world. Sheila's freak-out bled into this, too, for as the Spencers whispered and plotted, she raced between damage control at Giardino and whispered warnings to Deacon. Keep Will close, keep the cops away, keep Luna hidden until they could spin this, but Lee was already 2 steps ahead, sniffing out the truth like a hound on a scent, whispering to Ivy Forrester about red flags and unredeemable bloodlines, and Ivy, who had her own stakes in Will's budding romance with Electra, listened with growing dread, wondering how much more chaos this girl could sow before someone finally put a stop to her. Meanwhile, Thomas Forrester's shadow loomed, his return imminent, his schemes perhaps the only ones potent enough to derail Brooke and Ridge's latest Destiny reunion, a reunion that left Taylor Hayes shattered. The same week that will staggered through fragments of memory, Taylor staggered through fragments of promises Ridge had made. That Brooke was the past, that their engagement was his future, that this time he would not fold. But Ridge, ever the dressmaker of broken vows, unraveled his own engagement with a single confession, "I want to end this for Brooke." And Taylor, humiliated, furious, and aching, found herself with an unexpected ally. Bill Spencer, the same man now trying to shield his youngest son from the fallout of Luna's predation, now offering her whiskey and warmth, telling her she deserved better, that Ridge was a fool, that Destiny was a marketing slogan for weak men. Their alliance, tender, strange, perhaps romantic, would ripple, too, for Steffi Forrester and Thomas, heartbroken for their mother, turn their anger not only on Brooke, but on the whole Logan clan, vowing retribution, perhaps even firing Brooke from Forrester Creations, even as their own lives teetered, Steffi juggling a fifth newborn, Thomas nursing a grudge. Finn caught between loyalty to his wife and guilt over his mother's freakout as Sheila begged him not to judge her too harshly for Luna's sins. And through it all, well, poor Will, staggered from Aiel Giardino to the Spencer mansion, from Electra's hesitant "no, we didn't" to Lainey's confused flirtations, piecing together the fragments of a night that was supposed to be a rite of passage and became a nightmare. The mask, the room, the kisses, the scent of Luna's perfume he couldn't name because he didn't know she lived, because he thought she was dead, because Lee and Sheila told him so. By Friday the 29th, Carter's proposal hung unanswered. Sheila's freakout simmered into a full-blown cover-up. Taylor's heartbreak found a shoulder in Bill. Brooke and Ridge whispered destiny beneath the same stars that mocked Taylor's tears, and Luna, the girl with the mask, the booze, and the devil's grin, waited in the shadows for the next shoe to drop, perhaps already plotting how to twist Will's confusion into an advantage, how to make Electra doubt herself, how to whisper into Deacon's ear that she did it all for love, a love as toxic as the 180-proof trap she poured into his glass, a love that set Los Angeles on fire in a week of freakouts, proposals, and game-changing moves that no one, not Sheila, not Carter, not even fate, could fully control. Sheila Carter's freakout was only the beginning, as the hours bled into days following Spencer's disastrous party. Los Angeles became a pressure cooker of secrets, half-truths, and desperate plays for power and love each. Characters moved setting off aftershocks that no one could fully predict, starting with Will himself, who woke not just hungover but haunted, the taste of foreign liquor still burning in his mouth, the ghost of a mask brushing against his cheek, and a memory so fractured he didn't know whether to confess to Electra Forrester or hide from her. Electra, meanwhile, paced her room, replaying the night, the drinks, the almost kiss, the soft rejection that wasn't a rejection at all, not tonight. "You've had too much," she had whispered to him, and wondering if her chance at a first time with Will had slipped away forever or if something worse had taken its place in the void of his blackout. A fear confirmed when Ivy Forrester sent her that leaked image of Luna Nozawa, mask gleaming, lips trailing down Will's chest, his shirt undone, his hand limp at his side. Electra's first instinct was to scream, her second to protect him, her third, the one that took root, was vengeance, not just against Luna, but against the two women who had hidden her, Lee Finnegan and Sheila Carter, the unlikely grandmothers turned reluctant co-conspirators who now bickered in hushed tones behind closed doors, Lee insisting Luna needed to be committed, medicated, removed from society before she ruined more lives, Sheila insisting that family stands by family, even as her own stomach churned at the thought of what Luna had done in that supply room. Deacon Sharp, caught between his wife's panic and his own culpability for letting the party spiral, tried to keep Aiel Giardino open and out of scandal, instructing staff to erase camera footage, comp drinks, and keep their mouths shut. But his eyes betrayed him every time Will walked in, asking about the girl in the mask, the missing hours, the faint bruise on his collarbone he didn't remember earning. And while all this brewed in the smoky corners of Beverly Hills nightlife, Carter Walton pressed his suit at Forrester Creations, a man in love but on borrowed time. He told Ridge Forrester point blank that he wanted to marry Hope Logan now, this week, before Liam Spencer could worm his way back into her heart, before nostalgia and proximity and baby daddy charm undid years of careful progress. Ridge, amused but wary, reminded him that Hope was her own woman, that rushing her never worked, that Brooke's daughter carried her own Logan curse, always torn between two loves, always loyal to the past even as she reached for the future. Sheila Carter's freakout didn't stop with frantic whispers behind Aiel Giardino's backroom doors. It metastasized, like poison seeping into the veins of Los Angeles, warping loyalties and exposing fault lines in families already teetering on the brink. In the days that followed the August 20th party, the Spencer mansion transformed into a fortress of silence. Will Spencer, the heir once carefree and quick to charm, now stared at his reflection as if it belonged to a stranger. His memories a broken mosaic, the burn of liquor, the pressure of gloved hands, the heat of breath behind a mask that wasn't Electra's, wasn't Laney's, wasn't anyone he could name, because the girl he should have feared was one he'd been told was dead. Electra Forrester, her heart cracking with guilt and dread, oscillated between fierce protectiveness and gnawing suspicion, whispering to Ivy Forrester in the dim-lit corridors of Forrester Creations that she knew something happened, that she had seen the leaked photo, Luna's mask, Will's bared chest, the supply room shadows, and that if Bill Spencer ever saw it, the world would burn. Ivy, her own history with Spencer men tangled and complicated, urged caution. We can't accuse without proof. Bill will scorch the earth. And scorch he would. For Bill Spencer, upon catching wind of the whispers, summoned his sons, his lawyers, even his old contacts in the LAPD, vowing that whoever touched his boy without consent would pay. Little did he know that the snake coiled at his feet was Luna Nozua, the girl Lee Finnegan had sworn to reform, the girl Sheila Carter had sworn to mother, the girl now smirking behind closed doors as Sheila, hands trembling, begged her to disappear until the storm passed. Luna refused. Why should I run? She murmured, twirling the mask between her fingers. He'll remember me. They always do. That line echoed like a curse, a reflection of Sheila's own dark youth, when she had whispered the same thing about men who'd never wanted her. Lee, disgusted, called her sister deranged, and threatened to commit her herself if Sheila didn't act. This girl is unredeemable, Lee spat, and for once, Sheila didn't argue. But fear of exposure made strange bedfellows. They agreed, however reluctantly, to keep Luna close, to monitor her, to pray the photo stayed buried.